When my son got off the school bus, I noticed he was missing 3 teeth. Oliver smiled at me with blood still crusted around his gums, gaps where his front teeth used to be. He was 8 years old. Those weren't baby teeth. I dropped to my knees on the sidewalk and grabbed his face gently, turning it toward the light. His lip was split and swollen. A bruise was forming under his left eye. "Who did this to you?" I asked. He shook his head and tried to pull away. The bus driver was already pulling off, not even glancing back. I scooped Oliver up and carried him inside, my hands trembling against his backpack straps. He buried his face in my shoulder and whispered something I couldn't hear. I asked him to say it again. He said it was his teacher, Mr. Dornan. Oliver had been in Mr. Dornan's 3rd grade class for 6 weeks. Parent reviews online called him strict but effective. He had a reputation for turning around struggling students with old-school discipline. I'd heard other dads at pickup joke about how Dornan didn't tolerate nonsense. I thought that meant he assigned extra homework. I sat Oliver on the kitchen counter and cleaned his wounds while he explained what happened. He said Mr. Dornan caught him passing a note to his friend Aiden during a lesson. The teacher grabbed his collar, dragged him to the front of the room, and slammed his face into the chalkboard ledge 3 times in front of the entire class. Oliver said nobody did anything because Mr. Dornan told them this is what happens when you disrespect authority. I called the school within minutes. The receptionist transferred me to the vice principal, who said she'd look into it and call me back. She never did. I called again an hour later. This time she told me Oliver had been disruptive, and Mr. Dornan simply escorted him to the office. No mention of violence. No mention of my son's teeth scattered on a classroom floor. I asked if they had security cameras. She said classroom footage was only accessible to administrators during official investigations. I asked her to start an official investigation. She said she'd need to speak with Mr. Dornan first and would follow up next week. My son was missing 3 teeth and she wanted me to wait until next week. I drove to the school the next morning and demanded to speak with the principal directly. The front office staff tried to turn me away, saying I needed an appointment. I told them I wasn't leaving until someone explained why my child came home disfigured. The principal finally appeared, a thin woman named Dr. Whitfield who looked annoyed before I even opened my mouth. She escorted me to her office and closed the door. I showed her photos of Oliver's injuries. She glanced at them for maybe 2 seconds. "Children exaggerate," she said. "Mr. Dornan has been with this district for 19 years. He's never had a complaint." I told her there was a complaint now. She said she'd review the situation and encouraged me to let the process work. I asked again about the security footage. She said it wasn't available to parents. That night, I got a text from an unknown number. It was a video file with no message. I opened it and my stomach dropped. The footage showed Oliver's classroom from a ceiling-mounted camera. I watched Mr. Dornan grab my son by the back of his neck and slam his face into that wooden ledge while 23 kids sat frozen at their desks. I watched him do it 3 times. I watched Oliver crumple to the floor while Dornan stood over him and pointed at the other students like he was making an example. I saved that video to 3 different cloud accounts and texted back asking who sent it. The response came quickly. IT department. My kid is in that class too. They told us to delete it. I screenshot that message and saved it beside the video. I walked into the next school board meeting with my phone connected to the projector. The board members were shuffling papers when I stood up during public comment and asked if they'd seen what Mr. Dornan did to my son. Dr. Whitfield's face went pale. She started to interrupt, but I'd already pressed play. The video filled the screen behind me. Every board member watched a teacher assault an 8-year-old child on camera. 2 of them covered their mouths. 1 left the room. Parents in the audience started shouting. Dr. Whitfield tried to claim the footage was taken out of context, but you could hear Oliver crying on the audio. You could hear Dornan telling him to stand up and take it like a man. By the time the video ended, 3 board members were already on their phones. Police arrested Mr. Dornan at his home that night. Dr. Whitfield was placed on administrative leave pending an investigation into why she buried the footage. The IT employee who sent me the video was offered whistleblower protection after 6 other parents came forward with similar stories spanning 4 years. Oliver needed surgery to repair the nerve damage in his gums. He'll have implants when he's older. Mr. Dornan was convicted of aggravated assault on a minor and sentenced to 8 years. Dr. Whitfield was terminated and lost her administrative license permanently.